the second chance test. So see, we had to change a bit. Okay. So now let me share again my book because you talked a lot. I hope you read, you shared your ideas. So I want answers. I don't want to hear myself. Okay. Now, anybody, because everybody worked in small groups. So you had the chance to say what you felt, right? So, A, what influences on our lives do they suggest about the photos? What can you say about number one?
Means the first pictures show us um, maybe a family life uh, that influences uh, is that it's possible to share more time with family when maybe when we were children.
Okay.
I think
All
we
right.
think.
Well, very good. So that's an family. Very good. What about number two? Photo two.
This,
Yes.
for me, number two suggests like at the yes at the place where you live,
Okay.
and that show I don't know um how is your style of life, or how much money do you have,
Oh,
especially in the cities where it's too big and there are a lot of like places where you can see the difference.
all right. All right. Thank you. What
Means
about?
maybe a picture there's
Yes.
sorry there's news way style life way because a year decades ago families lived a house a big house not a flat, and so I think this may reference the mother families lives a flat or the apartment.
Yeah, I live in a flat. All right, very good. What about picture three? Picture three. What influences on our lives do they suggest in picture three? What is your conclusion? What did you talk about?
The influence at school and our friends in our life.
The influence on school. All right, very good. And number four.
Miss, I think that this picture show us that the consumerism is gaining more popularity every day because people want to buy excessively, no
Okay,
matter if they buy things that they don't need. The aim is buy,
the aim.
especially in about clothes. They prefer clothes of famous brand.
Very interesting. So if we see it all together, we have family, we have where to live, study, and food. Yeah, what we need to eat. B, which of these influences are the most significant in our Bolivian society, our Aurorian society? Whichever. What can you say? That is very personal. There's no bad answers. It's what you perceive of this influence that is significant where you are surrounded with. What can you say?
Means I think that the first and the third picture are relationate.
Mhm.
That the first show us the values that we can learn at home, and the third, no racism in schools.
Okay. Interesting. So you perceive the influence mostly family and studies. Yeah, the school influences, even the uniform influence something. Very good. Anyone else with B? Or everybody agrees with Miss Power?
Miss,
Yes.
I think that in every part of Bolivia is very uh, it's different because I'm agreed that in or could be that Paula says.
Mhm.
But for the moment, I'm in Cochabamba, and especially here we can see that there are different areas where the people live. For example, the north zone and the south zone, and you can see the difference of the houses, the buildings,
Mm.
and other thing that it's important that you can see here is the how the you can see the difference between the private school and the public school
Oh.
because the difference are very um are so many. You can see the places where they go, where and the universities the and the groups that they have. I don't know. I don't remember the name. The fraternities that they have
Oh.
here.
All right. Okay, so you can see the difference where they live, what types of school they see. And like you said, it's divided by the air, by the cities maybe, or our societies that we live now. Very nice, very good. Thank you. So that is what you perceive. Yeah, it's very personal. There's no bad answers. It's your own optical view to this question, right? In our society. Now, B, you match each of the extracts 1 to 4 you read all together with the most appropriate headline. So for A, which one is it?
3.
It is 3. Very good. 3. For B is
Number 4.
4. Yeah. For C is
Number 2.
Number 2.
yes. So an end to class privilege is number 1. Now, what you read was maybe something that you already know, that you're familiar with, or some of you was surprisingly the first time you've seen this, right? And the good thing is it opens up your mind and the ideas and how you relate to this extracts. So we have in number 3, refer to the extracts again and discuss these questions with another student. So all of you discuss them. That's why I gave you a lot of time. I wanted you to relax and not think, yeah, towards this. Okay. So I want to hear you. The first one says, if a society rewards the talented, what should happen to people who have fewer talents? What can you say? Any possible answer to this that you discussed?
Means maybe the statement it's a reality because society rewards the artists and not artists or
Uh-huh.
influencers. Um, like for example, the last event, Billboard Bolivia, talents famous artist Izumi, charanguista. But the statement is who have fewer talents. I think this the government maybe it's a possibility. It just ignore them or
Oh.
take all uh, supporting with events like Aquí Canta Bolivia,
Oh,
incentivize the new talents with money. Like this a way to support them.
oh, that is interesting. Very good. So Mr. Marcio can speak about this because he's a musician and he sees that, right? Very good. Anyone else that would like to refer to this first one?
Means maybe the government must be plans to develop the talents in the people who have fewer talents.
Mm,
Because I think that all people have talents. So uh, they don't know a specific talent. Maybe I
okay.
think.
Oh, they don't know. Let me add to this. It says here, and are rewarded on the basis of their efforts and ability. Thus, the factor that determines people's success in life is their own talent, not an accident of birth. Um, I don't know, but I think it influences and where the student is. I mean, it's not only the government, it's also the type of parents, the type of teachers, the type of who surrounds you with, right? Um, let's analyze your childhood. There was always the perfect student, the student that had the talent of getting good grades. Yeah, it was always rewarded. There was the student who was really sporty, who played and was in every team, and he successfully or she successfully was in representing our city. There was the artist. There was the best dancer in your class, the best speaker in your class. So each individual in a classroom has something special. But in that same group of people that you know, even in your family, your cousins, your brother, your sister, there's something always special. And the responsibility of a parent, that what I know is if I see that there is something that my son, I'm going to put him as an example, isn't the same but likes other things, I should push that and say, okay, he's not like the rest. He's not a perfect student. He's not a perfect sportsman. He doesn't maybe like sports, doesn't draw well, doesn't sing well, but maybe he likes to. This is a really good talent of I had a discussion with a professional of taking pictures. I didn't realize that, but this professor said if you see the mind of a child or a teenager, the talents that they have hidden and never shown like all the other talents that they're very, I don't know, very important. They have special talents that show in someone in the future, and they're incredible. They're maybe they're photographers. They help people. They have the talent of caring. They like to work with people. They have that talent of being patient, or maybe they have talents of just listen to you, right? So if you have this as a question, and you think further from your childhood and what you are, you find your talents, right? It's like Mr. Franklin said, everybody has talents. So we cannot limit anyone. We just have to find it, right? So it's everybody's responsibility, even your friend's responsibility, and yours to show them, right? So it's a very, very interesting question because it's not only the government. Now forget about the government. The government doesn't know you, but the people that surround you, the society, your brother, your sisters, can help you find those talents too. So it's a nice way of opening your mind and say, yeah, I have a talent. I can sew. Yeah, puedo coser. I can sew. I'm great at it. So you have a lot of patience because I don't have patience. I prefer to use the gun. Listo. It's attached. Listo. So everybody has a talent. Very good. B are the three main characteristics of the postmodern family an accurate description of the current state of the typical family in Bolivia? What can you say about that? You understand, B? Let's read it again. Are the three main characteristics of the postmodern family? Okay, so let's go to 4. There are still large differences in the state of health, education, housing. See, state of health, education, housing, and employment between originals and non-urban. Okay,
Miss,
so
is extract two.
excuse me.
It's extract two.
Ay, sorry. No, estoy en el B. Ah,
Yes.
no es el extract 4. Racial discrimination. Ay, no, 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 yo me estoy rayando.
No,
Yo,
Miss, it's extract two.
yeah, okay, sorry, sorry. There are noted three main characteristics. The difference of adolescence to the family's identity, stability in lives of couples, accompanied by increasing divorce rates. Ooh, that's fuertecito nomás. So, are the three main characteristics of the postmodern family an accurate description, certera, accurate description of the current state of typical family if you're in your country, o sea, de la corriente actual de la familia típica here in Bolivia? Think about that. What do you think? Postmodern family. Postmodern family.
Miss, maybe the good example in our country is the main. They say instability in lives of couple.
Oh,
The last news, the famous case, a couple, Anakin is fit, a good fit, and so I think the society is going down and about this character.
excellent point, Mr. Marcy. Loss of values, of principles. Okay, anybody else with Marcios, or do you have other examples or anything else to say? He bases on um, instability in the lives of couples. A common increase in divorce rates. So it's accompanied by that. Everybody agrees with Marcio that okay. So we have problems in our country with moral values. That's the thing. Families is like, who cares? But if there isn't a base of nuclear love and principles, even if you are a single parent, doesn't matter. If there isn't those values, I mean, it's horrible what's happening in our country. Like serial killers. Not from the other case, the otro changuita. Yeah, horrible story too. All right, Mr. Marcy, great example. See, what should the wealthier nations of the world do to ensure that farmers and other workers in poor countries are not forced into a cycle of poverty and debt? Do you understand? What should the wealthier nations, which are the wealthiest nations? Canada, the United States, I don't know, Switzerland, Sweden, Germany, England, all those the famous eight novelos, Chinese mas. What should the wealthier nations of the world do to ensure, asegurar, that farmers and other workers in poor countries are not forced into a cycle of poverty and debt?
Miss, I think that this
Oh, it's not there, uh-oh, I think something happened. Anyone else, meanwhile? Miss Allison, what do you?
Mm, maybe a wealthier nation should um, uh, create programs
Okay.
for um, uh, farmers in poor countries, maybe subsidies
Oh, okay. It's kind of hard to talk
or
about. Yes,
programs that help to these farmers be in a international trade, maybe to improve. Well, I don't know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It would be great if they had that way of thinking of others, right? Anyone else? Everybody agrees with Miss Allison?
Miss,
Mm,
there is a similar situation in United States about the production of the corn, maybe. I'm
okay.
not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, is there isn't enough food for many places, but they can't eat the food. They can't eat the corn because all the corn is or are processed to produce fuel
Oh,
about the corn, and
oh,
it's difficult to provide to the people food for their families, maybe for their population. Yeah, I think.
okay. So you're going in the group of production. Okay. So there are many answers to this, and there could be solutions. So is fair trade, o sea, trato justo, fair trade with with other countries, right? And some countries do it, some don't, can't, and it depends on how much money they have. And it's a problem right now. We are still living in poverty, not Bolivia, but other countries, and they're suffering. Yeah, very good job, everybody. Yeah. Okay. We have D. What can be done to improve the situation of ethnic groups like the Australian Aborigines? Are there similar groups in your country? What can you say about that? Any idea? What can be done to improve the situation of the Australian Aborigines? What can you say for C? Do you understand?
Maybe Miss, there's many similar groups in our country. There's 6 ethnics, uh, and I think there's a lot of discrimination in our country. Maybe in the past was worse, but until now it's there's a lot of discrimination. Maybe something that could be done to improve that situation could be the education in high schools or in universities, in every level of education, because I think that's the base of everything.
Yeah.
The way we are raised in our family, I think that's one thing.
Yeah.
And maybe the last could be improve our laws. I think there's a law to against discrimination, but it's not the best. We could change many things in that way.
Oh, what you said, yeah, it's normal. Even if we don't want to admit, Bolivia discriminates a lot from one side and the other. I mean, there's no acceptance, unfortunately, but we're not the only one. That's really bad. And like you said, Ms. Paola, discrimination laws should be stricter. And I mean, education also, home education. Uh, everybody has to be part of this, yeah, because being discriminated is horrible. Just a small, in brackets. Remember, okay, the United States of America. You know, they have really a history of discrimination to African Americans. These people have suffered from their slavery, and they have a long story of suffering. And in that time, when John F. Kennedy was killed, there were certain groups in the south part of the United States, like los cucuruchos blancos, that it has a specific name, I know, but I don't remember. Yeah, the Ku Klux Klan that went and just ripped everybody up, all the African Americans. So it was really hard for the society. So I remember in a class of discrimination, my professor showed us a video that was done in 1960 something, right before, right after the Ku Klux Klan attack to this town, and she was really worried. This teacher was really scared of the future of her own students. So she did something special that just crashed my heart till this day. She separated the classroom and she said, we're gonna do a practice. We're gonna make a difference, okay? The children, all of the children were Americans. So you can believe there were any Latinos, no Italians, all of them, they were Anglos because they lived in a very small town in Kansas, I think. She divided the class into groups. The kids that had blue eyes and the kids that had dark eye color. And she said, only the blue-eyed kids will go to recess, will have a great time. And the brown and dark colored children will be just looking at them. So she made this division of discrimination with the children. So she said to the blue-eyed kids that they were perfect, that they were so smart, that they were the best. But to the kids with brown eyes, they said, oh, you're stupid, you're slow, you're the worst. And the brown kids with the eyes, with brown eyes, they were crying. Their self-esteem was crashed. But the kids that had blue eyes, they bullied with the brown eyes. And at the end of the class, she said, brown eyes kids, did you like the treatment? No, this is horrible. How could you do this? That's discrimination. That is discrimination. And the blue-eyed kids, how do you feel? You felt like empowered, like, right? And they were saying, but they're your friends. You went to kindergarten with them. Next day, they did the same. The brown-eyed kids were the intelligent, the best students, everything the best. The blue-eyed kids were dumb, stupid, slow, can't learn. And they got into a fight. And the blue-eyed kid said, "Oh my goodness, this feeling, it's horrible." And that is how this teacher, this amazing teacher that I admire, taught that generation that just looking at the eyes and making differences, you can destroy a person in any way, in any way. So this type of teachers are jewels in educational system. She taught university. She went to companies, big, small, everything with that idea. She, in the same company, she discriminated just by the eye color and how each one felt. So, I mean, when you are discriminated, you can change your point of view towards others. Yeah. And we did that in my class. They didn't discriminate me. I discriminated others. And it's horrible. So, Miss Paula, you're right. If we don't teach this, I mean, we're just gonna live a lie. Yeah. So I'm gonna send this from this video of this wonderful teacher that it touches my heart every time that I see it. And she's just teach that to young children and for you, for us as adults to think differently. We cannot be the same as our parents. We cannot be the same as our grandparents or what the society wants us to be or to think. So things can change. And the last one. Sorry for speaking. I know, I'm sorry. Yeah. What are the most pressing social problems in your country at the present time? What solutions are being tried or suggested to solve this problem? 5 minutes. Who can say this?
Miss,
Yes. Yes, yes.
I would say that the powers of our main problem now is that the powers of our country is just in the hands of one power of one political party,
Okay.
the mass. And I think the how to solve this, it's need to be that each one control the others with transparency. But of course, we need to wait years to divide these groups or divide these powers.
Very nice, Mr. Rod. Very good. Anyone else that would like to add Mr. Rogers' idea?
Yes, Miss. The question is difficult to answer because in our country, all the main problem is about politician, about the MAS, the particle, and so it's the all the news is about the current situation about the ex president Janine Áñez, and so it's difficult to answer, Miss.
Difficult to answer, yeah. And but we're still here. I mean, Bolivians, we've been all our history, we had terrible government. I don't think any government was great, but they tried their best. But unfortunately, the people are really narrow-minded. Now you know the word of narrow-minded that need to open up and give the chance and also be honest, have values. Everybody wants to get a piece of that power and not respect who we are, the talents that we have. Yeah, we have a lot to give to our country, but they I don't know, they don't see that. And it's a young Bolivia is considered a young country, yeah, because there are many young people like you are. But unfortunately, most of those young people want to go away. want to find other types of, I don't know, other future. Yeah, I'm the one that came back because I had everything. Yeah, but I needed something else. I needed more, right? So I had to start from the beginning, and I didn't want to be just labor, and be the same. So it's just what you have on you, yeah. And the solutions, we hope, let's have faith, in our country is just beautiful. It's marvelous. When you go away and you'll return, you'll see those details that nowhere in the world you can find just here. So thank you for all your ideas. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for you talking about all of this. And tomorrow we're just gonna do the reading, and next week we're gonna practice what topic should be taught. Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting to make a change because all of these lessons were repetitive, the same and grading so. But we're gonna change a bit. Okay. So thank you so much for all your opinions. I hope everybody talk to your groups. I didn't want to get in and yeah, talk to me. Just you relax and just say whatever you want to. Okay. So have a great evening, everybody. See you mañana. Bye.
Thank you,
Goodbye,
me.
Bye,
Miss.
Miss.
Bye. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye,
Bye.
Miss.